Hello, my name is Jan, and it's been a while since I've been on here. Um, I had a channel before here on YouTube, and it was hacked, and so I was starting over again. And some of you may know me from my near-death experience interviews. I've had several of those, and I've started a little playlist on here of some of them in case you're interested in checking that out. Anyway, I'm here today because I'm really interested to know if other people are experiencing things in our world differently. If you're noticing changes, if you're finding that life is just different now than maybe it was a year ago or 5 years ago, because we are going through some massive changes here on Earth. And it can be really helpful to have some discussions about what's going on. Um, I often point people to the Schumann resonance to get an idea of how the energy is changing, the energy that's coming here into our Earth, the energy that we are living within is affecting us, each individually, in quite unique ways. Some people are finding it very disruptive to their nervous system. Some people are finding it um, chaotic. It creates chaos inside of you. And if you're not aware of the changes that are happening, it can be really difficult to navigate. But I think once you get the opportunity to understand a little better what's going on, it can be a whole lot easier to move through these times. And so that would be my hope, that we can have some conversations in here that are helpful to you to settle down, to learn to understand yourself and your surroundings a little bit differently. Um, I've come to some major new understandings that have been very helpful to me. We often are told this idea that everything inside of us is there and it's perfect, and we just need to tap into it and we'll be fine. And this is true. This is true. However, getting to that space inside of us that's perfect and that's um, the consciousness that we are, really, the energy that we are, getting to that space, getting through the hurt and the pain that's occurred through um, the lives that we've lived and the experiences that we've had can be a little bit daunting. But that doesn't mean that it's not quite achievable to find that peacefulness inside of you. For me, it has been quite a journey of opening my heart. And that sounds also like something that should be fairly easy to do, but it's been a journey for me, to say the least, to open my heart and to learn to trust and to learn to have deep faith that everything will be okay. And I've kind of reached a point now where I really, truly know I have a deep faith and a deep understanding and a deep trust that always have been cared for and gently held and loved by a divine force much bigger than anything we can really understand here as a human. Um, we know that energy never dies. It just changes places, changes form, changes location. And so who we are in our inner formless energy is eternity. We are eternity in that inner space of energy. It goes on forever and it's been around forever. And so who we are inside, this I am that's inside of us, is that beautiful, perfect space and consciousness that has lived through many lives and has learned many things that can be helpful to us in the here and now. I think the most important thing for me in finding this beautiful space is learning to trust my own inner discernment, learning to trust that I have an inner knowing of so much more than I ever realized. And you are the same. This inner knowing, this discernment that we have is very helpful to keep us safe and to keep us trusting in every day that we live, knowing that we will be safe and we will be okay. So many people are so afraid all the time, and I'm just finding this so much more than I ever understood before. How we humans live with so much fear, and it's quite heartbreaking that this is the experience that humans are having, this fear. And it is so doable to move above this fear. And when you move out of fear, you become the master of your own life. Now, another little bit of a jump and maybe a stretch is that I want to say something that is so true in my life. And I think in everybody's life, quite honestly. And that is this, that here on earth, things have not been as we maybe thought they were. And by that statement, I mean quite honestly that there is about 1% of humans here on earth who are controlling pretty much everything. We as humans don't want to hear that, don't want to believe it, but it seems to be true. And this 1% of people are controlling everything by keeping us in fear. But what's interesting is this, the 1% of the people, the very wealthy people who have taken big control over what goes on here on earth, they're living in a lot of fear too. So the truth is this, we, the masses, the people here on earth, we humans who deserve to have a joyful, happy life, we getting ourselves out of fear will put an end to a lot and maybe all of the nonsense that's gone on here on earth for thousands and thousands of years. That's a lot to take in, I know. I know in my life that from the time I was born, I was in a situation where um, the people, some of the people around me were not exactly who they were presenting themselves to be. They were people who understood things about the world in a very different way. maybe I think a good way to put it is this way. They were people who, out of fear, had become controlled by this, not maybe directly, but this came from this 1% of people who control what goes on here on Earth. And there were people around me who gained knowledge, I don't know how or where, in groups that taught this kind of thing. They learned knowledge about how to control other people. And the way they did that is, there are many ways, but what happens is this energy that most of us humans are made of is a beautiful, loving energy that is quite, in fact, wanted and desired by people who are people who came from a very different place, very different space inside. Some people go at this from the direction of, maybe these are the Draco people. Maybe these are people who came from a completely different space, different universe, or different space in the universe than where many of us are from. And so they have become a darker sort of energy. And with that, they have a knowledge of how to take people who are loving and giving and make them feel like they are not very worthwhile. Take away the inner power that we have. And the way they take that power away is by making us feel lacking, like we're not enough. You know, all the things you hear people talk about, that they live their lives feeling insecure and feeling fearful and feeling like they're just not enough. All of this can happen by the way we're treated, for sure, but also energetically. We can be manipulated. We can have a lot of the really powerful, beautiful energy that we have inside. We can have that squashed down. And the way they do that is by making us feel lesser than who we are, and by literally shifting some of their energy to us and taking the beautiful divine energy that we're made of for their use. And I know this is a lot to swallow, but from what I've seen, this is all very true, very true. And so I will be talking with different people on this channel to try and get more of an understanding of what's going on and how we take back our power. Each and every individual one of us who is a good soul inside. And many people they just get depleted. They get so tired of being afraid and so tired of trying to live their life feeling like they're not enough. And so what I want to show people is that they are enough. They've always been enough. And taking back their power is as simple as removing themselves from fear, removing fear from inside of them, and stepping into the divine power that each of us truly are. We don't need to be controlled by fear and by forces that have no right to be having any power over us. And so these are the conversations that I will look forward to having. And I hope that you'll be interested to tune in and learn as we move along. it is quite a journey because there's so many different directions that you can go in to try to learn from and try to figure things out from. This has been most beneficial to me. It opening my heart, dropping fear out of my life. And I have also found access to the information of how to open up our DNA. And that has been a biggie too. To open up the DNA that we have inside of us is quite extraordinary. And it is a simple thing to do, but it's not a simple thing to do if you're left on your own to try and figure it out. And I have come across people who have tapped into the ability to open up their DNA and to open up their ability to heal themselves and to heal other people in such simple ways. It's extraordinary. And so I will be sharing information on this as well. And these topics are certainly a little different than just simply near-death experience and talking about our thoughts. This is all important, our thoughts and our consciousness and our frequency. It's a little bit of a deeper dive, I guess, that I've been taking into all this, and it's been very interesting. And I am so excited to share more and more with you about these things in the days to come. So for now, though, I'll keep this short, and it's just kind of an introduction to say, hello, I'm back, and I'm excited to have conversations, and I hope that you will subscribe, join in, and we can have some fun, do some learning, and drop away a lot of fear. That would be my hope. Open our hearts and enjoy our lives instead of living in pain and hurt. Drop away our pain, drop away our fear as we learn who we truly are, where we've come from, and how we can change things here on earth. Make it a wonderful place. Truly, living in heaven on earth is what we should all be experiencing. And my vision of the future is that this is what we will see, is humans will be living the way we were meant to be here on earth, in divine understanding of who we are, in energy that can do amazing things, absolutely amazing things. And that these darker forces, these people who believed they had the right to keep us in fear and keep us out of any enjoyment in life, or very little enjoyment in life. I've had enough of that, and probably you have too. So thank you for joining in today, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.